One day I read this quote by Bono. It said, "Do you want to be part of a generation that let an entire continent die?" And I said, "No, I don't. But what can I do? I'm not a millionaire, I'm not a rock star, I'm not a famous Hollywood actress. I sit up late at night, I watch those infomercials, I question whether I should drink a cup of coffee the next day. I get sad when I'm in Starbucks, spending my $5, wondering if someone else can eat for a month off of it. I don't know, I've never been there myself. I need to go, I need to tell that story." And so I asked 4 of my friends. Their names are Scott, Eric, Dan, and Adam. I asked them, can we follow you with a camera? Can we experience Africa through your eyes? Can we see the worst humanitarian disasters in the world through your eyes? And they said yes. And so we went. And this is their journey. This is the time they made Africa their classroom.
I was in a very sort of, just a place where I was very ready to be kind of molded and to be changed. I wanted to be in danger. I wanted to be in a war zone. I wanted to feel my life, you know, in the balance.
I needed to raise some money. I needed to set everything up so that I could go and leave my life.
Young people are wanting to do something different and wanting to go out and really impact this world.
We're packing stuff, getting ready for the airport.
So everybody, I think, had a different perspective and a different idea on what we were going to encounter. I think Scott, he kind of has this reckless abandon about him, and I think he was just ready for the excitement.
And then we're going to Uganda, and we're going to play the bongos.
I was pretty bored with life in Colorado.
When I was in high school, I was in Kenya, really fell in love with the people, and I didn't really have to think twice about it. I just knew that I wanted to see more of Africa, not just what Kenya was.
Adam was my roommate freshman year in college, and Eric is my brother, and so we've obviously grown up together. And I didn't know Dan. I'd met him a couple times in passing. He is the most unique guy I've ever met.
I think we need more deet. More?
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't argue with you about the deet. It's just about it. I guess I just figured $100 was a lot of money to spend.
But well worth it, because malaria. If you get malaria a weekend, I'm not taking care of you.
Dan, what are we doing today? Just give us like the rundown.
I don't really know.
Dan was an artist. He was a bass player in a rock band. He kept dreaming about traveling the whole world, being in a rock band, and he lived the rock star lifestyle. Eric was an athlete whose dream was shot, and he didn't have it anymore. Scott was just starting school, his freshman year, passionately wanting to save the world, all he talked about. Adam didn't really know what he wanted, but loved Africa, had already been to Africa twice. They were all so insanely different that I was like, if I could get them on the same trip, I bet some radical things are gonna come out of it, but I didn't know what it might be.
Do we have everything together?
No, not at all. We're definitely not ready.
Bye, Shane.
Thanks for everything.
I think we all needed something new, something real in our lives. We were tired of reading newspaper articles and watching Africa through a TV screen. We wanted to see it with our own eyes, and maybe we actually thought we could change the world.
When we got there, we got off the plane, we had so much luggage. Eric had duffel bags of soccer balls and trophies and soccer cleats and everything for his team. Daniel was gonna build a whole recording studio, so his amount of luggage alone was crazy.
We are in Kampala, Uganda, right in the middle of the town right now. In the crazy traffic. They drive like nuts around here.
Driving here is much different than in the States. It's an adventure in itself, just driving around. I think we're all just excited to start our own projects, and we're ready to get going.
Where are you going? Just
Going up to Lira for a time. Gonna be staying with George and helping out at Abangatech. And then I'm also gonna be going to some IDP camps. Really stoked. A little scared, but that's all right.
A bunch of kids had heard that we're doing a music studio and we're excited. So I have a feeling there's probably going to be 100 potential R&B singers that want to show up and be recorded.
I'm really hoping to start working with this soccer team, start training with them, and start playing in some matches in the next couple weeks here.
So here we are, Africa. It's hot. It's freaking hot here. So we're gonna cut off the built-in beanie cap afro that adds about 20 degrees to the head. It's going bye-bye right now. So.
You guys like Tesla? Oh, Metallica? My groups.
Dude, go look at it. Dude, you got a street mullet, dude. You're not good.
Definitely don't want rain gear.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I'd just rather live like they do.
So I got my passport and stuff that I put inside my things.
Don't give that to anyone no matter what. Like, not until they're throwing you in jail.
Even then,
I don't know if you should do it then.
Yeah.
And don't bribe them as much as you can. Don't. If it comes down to it where they'll just take one coin. But as soon as they see anything else, he tells me that they'll just radio ahead to the next people and be like, they have money. Or they'll detain you and expect you to give them more. So you just have to say, I'm out.
I've got Tanzanian shillings.
Nice. Where'd you get those?
A friend back home. So maybe I can bribe him with those. In the couple months leading up to the trip, for whatever reason, I started to harbor a lot of almost kind of bitterness towards the American culture. I mean, my friends can attest to it. I probably was a little bit annoying at times about it, where I was just angry with how we exploit our resources and don't appreciate what it is that we have. Up to the day we left, I was just saying, yeah, I'm ready to get out of here.
Super, psyched to put Scott on the bus today. I think his parents would be really excited about this.
About a month before we left, I got introduced sort of to the whole situation in northern Uganda. I really felt like that's where I was being drawn towards, and I wanted to spend as much time as I could at the IDP camps. I went up there with no agenda other than to really see what was going on.
I'm Scott.
Oh, nice to meet you, Scott.
Oh, the bus is coming out. All right. The bus is coming out. Scott, good luck.
Thank you.
Just got out of the big taxi a minute ago that was going slow, and now we're on the fast track to Jinja.
On our way to the Nile River, we stopped off at our friend Henry's village. Really just wanted to show off that he had some Mzungu friends, so we went with them for the day.
Look at the nice chairs they have for us. What are we doing?
It's a little awkward because they're all staring, and I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. I think we're supposed to be like teaching or something, but I don't know.
And are we the guest of honor?
What?
Why do we get the special chairs?
The guest of honor. Yeah. See the guest of honor.
Okay.
We're the very first visitors. There's nobody else.
Kakitono bamwita Eric. Adam Dan on Eric. Amanya gange Eric.
This is Henry. I'm Eric.
Henry.
I too go to university in Colorado.
Nayagenda ku University in Colorado.
I play football there.
Muzanyi wa mpira era aba Arsenal muwanike. Which team do you support?
Arsenal.
Aba Arsenal.
Thank you for having us here.
Mwebale nnyo okutwaniriza wano.
Adam just showed some people here their picture and they've never seen that before. So we're giving them some Polaroids to keep.
You show Eric showing them.
Anyone I think who comes in here will just be so amazed at how warm and loving these people are, and it's so much different from being in the city, like open country, beautiful, everything's green, the air is clean and the people are wonderful.
There you are.
Don't eat all this much.
But you have to.
They have to.
Once you look at this belly. You have come. You fit that in there?
See it?
Wash my face off in the River Nile.
Just living the good life, eating sugar cane at the River Nile.
You guys, Katrina happened when
We usually don't do this in Colorado.
We got
some big spiders here. Some of the biggest spiders I've ever seen. They're just chilling in the tree over there.
Has Scott communicated yet?
Yeah, he called us today.
What he says, is he enjoying Mila? Is he enjoying?
He said it's crazy.
Yeah, he said it's insane.
When is he coming back?
Soon.
And we check him.
He said I'm ready to come home.
Huh?
This is the way they eat them.
Now that I'm actually here, like, there's some, chance that I'd be able, to do, some sort of good, while I'm here. And I don't know necessarily what that is. When we first got to Uganda, I was kind of the only person going into it that didn't know what I was going to be doing in Uganda. Scott knew he was going up north, and Eric knew that he was going to do soccer stuff, and Dan knew that he was going to be building a sound recording studio, and
I just didn't really have anything to do yet. I was just waiting to go and seeing where the needs were and stuff. I joined up with this group who would go to hospitals and talk with people and just really trying to encourage them any way that we could. And so we went to Malaga Hospital, which is the main government hospital there in Kampala, and it was a pretty crazy place to walk into, being from America and our healthcare system and seeing their healthcare system, and just how there's just a lot of people who really need medical attention but can't get it because they don't have the money.
While we were there was a 23-year-old woman named Grace, and she needed a kidney transplant. It was $20,000 to send her to India in order to get her a transplant. Grace kind of became the main person in Malaga that we went to go visit and went to go spend time with.
Eric, what time's soccer practice?
5 o'clock.
What time is it now?
5:55.
Wait, what time?
5:55.
And it started at?
5 o'clock African, which is 5:30 according to everybody.
So you're only 25 minutes late?
I don't know, somewhere from 55 to 25 minutes.
And you're the coach?
Yeah, I'm the coach and the player. We're supposed to have at least 20 people, and they're supposed to bring people as well, so I've been told up to like 40 people or so. Well, I was hoping to have time to kind of plan out a practice, so I've been mentally planning it out. I have no idea like who I'm working with or how much they've actually played. So I think the first practice I was hoping to just gauge where we're at and what we need to accomplish, like tactically and physically. This is our wonderful band. They carry dead people in it. It's used as a hearse on the weekends.
I had grown up playing soccer my entire life. I mean, I started playing soccer when I was 4. I went on to play soccer for a year at college, but I got a hip injury that took 2.5 years to diagnose. And so I was walking around for almost 2.5 years with this torn ligament. At that point, I had kind of gotten to a point where I was never going to be playing on a competitive level, you know, like the collegiate level again.
What?
The team is comprised of only 2 guys. Me and Michael are gonna train.
Yeah. It's just the two of you guys?
They wait on African time to show up. They don't wait on African time to leave.
Sure. You just came and then left?
Yeah, I think so.
So, how was practice?
I'm learning that patience is a virtue. I've seen a huge desire for learning here, and I think that there's such differences in culture. The culture here is, it's like things are in such a disarray that they don't even know where to start as far as fixing things. And a lot of things in America, like, we're just so lackadaisical in what we do. There's so much talk about helping Africa or doing something like that, but I think it's important to mix the two cultures. It's not about pouring in money, and it's not about fixing AIDS or giving people food. It's about learning each other's cultures. We lack so much in the warmth that these people have, and we lack so much in the community that they share. When you are together with a group of people here, like, you can really count on them, and you can lean on them if you ever needed something. First practice, it's Michael and I.
First I was like real apprehensive to go up to her, like, you know, because I was kind of shocked, and then we just started to talk, and I was talking to her family and realizing that they have to buy their own medicine for her and bring in their own food and everything. Like, the hospital doesn't provide anything, and their medicine in total is like 60,000 shillings a day. And I mean, there's no way that they can pay that. I don't know, it was just tough to see everyone, you know, in such like a desperate place. You know, people, I'm sure, just getting other people's diseases because they're all in, you know, all just crammed together in one place. And I don't know, Anne just told me a lot of stories of corruption where
you know, doctors, they'll get the money to diagnose people, but then they'll ask the patients for more and tell them that they won't treat them unless they get more money. And the government, obviously, just by looking at how run down the place is, isn't doing anything for the hospital, and there's just people laying out in the halls and out in the grass just waiting to be treated, but they don't have any money, so they just wind up dying out there. And yeah, it was a pretty crazy day, but I'm excited to go back and hopefully be able to tell, I don't know, their story.
I've hardly ever seen an African here with dark hair, or not dark hair, with graying hair, like an older looking African. Like I mean, besides Joe and Coat, I might have seen one or two walking down the streets. Joe? Who live right here. But I don't see very many older Africans. And I noticed the other day when we were talking, somebody had mentioned something like, you know, he goes, you live to be 40 or 50. And he was talking about something where he's like, you live to be 40 or 50, and that's about it. And I was thinking, wow, if that's your life expectancy, that's a lot different than what we have, where it's like, you expect to be 70 or 80 before you even consider dying, you know?
Adam, Dan, and I really bonded a lot while Scott was gone. And so when Scott came back, he was kind of being thrown into this mix that we were already starting to develop a dynamic to our relationship. What Scott witnessed and saw up in the North also really affected him, and he came back a very different person.
I didn't know what to expect or what I was going to encounter, and so everything was just kind of overwhelming and boom in my face.
He left and had a different experience in the North than we did, and came back a changed person, and was always kind of distant in many ways because he had kind of experienced something else that we hadn't, and he kind of carried that with him.
I went to, you know, an IDP camp, and that was pretty brutal. Just seeing that extent of human suffering, something I've never seen before, never really opened myself up to before. I think the thing that stuck out the most was the loss of humanity, is that the situation is just so dehumanizing to have people packed in at that mass amount and that, you know, with that much suffering, no food, no water, no sanitation. It takes away the human spirit in you. And so to see that in their eyes, look in their eyes and see nothing, just blank slates, is pretty, I don't know, I can't even describe it. It's just brutal. I mean, in a sense, it almost kind of breaks your own humanity.
Oh. I was in America for a moment. Got a hammer, some nails, some boards, some cotton. Yeah. We're just gonna put ourselves up a roof. My main project and focus in traveling to Uganda was initially to set up a micro-business music studio for local musicians to help prop up and support them in making their own music and producing income-generating activities through the use of music in their own communities. It was very exciting to be a part of the project. In many ways, though, in coming, I had to give up what I knew of music, playing music, wanting to have a band, wanting to get set music down and tour, and now I was going to work on pouring that into other people, not for myself, but to help other people reach that type of dream. Ow! How you feeling? My body's not very happy right now. I've inhaled about 50 pounds of cotton dust. Got shocked with 220 volts of electricity.
Dan is one of the funniest, craziest guys you'll ever meet, and his passion for things definitely infuses everyone else.
We felt we could summarize today best in a little ditty, in a song. We just release our emotions better, so I hope you can stick with us on this.
You just bust out the guitar and you just start making up stuff about, you know, the day, whether it was, you know, our different diseases or what we were eating or malaria, G-nuts, like, or, you know, different places we would go. He would just start singing.
I didn't know him before we went to Africa, but to hear where he had gone from as far as being involved with a lot of drugs, just the rock and roll scene, living homeless in Hawaii, then to kind of this turnaround to go to Africa and to realize that there's something so much more to his life than just partying and playing music, that he could actually make a difference.
Hello. Good to see you guys.
I'm fair.
You're fair?
Feeling better.
I've emailed and talked to a lot of people back in the United States about Grace and her condition and getting the money to be able so that she can go get her surgery. And people have come back to me with questions. Like, we're just wondering where is the operation going to take place in India? Do you guys know, like, the name of the hospital or wherever that's going to take place?
Now, there are people who are willing to help Grace, but they are inquiring the hospital where exactly we are going to take Grace for the transplant. Madras in India. Okay.
Mama, is there any way that he can come here and talk to us, or is he busy?
Hello. Are you coming here? Later. Because they had wanted to talk to you. It's called Adam. Now for the doctor, he says that he gave us a letter to go around and look for the money.
Yeah. You gave me one of those.
Yeah, I gave you one of the letters. He says for him it's not allowed to go on talking on our behalf. That because the patient is mine, we have to talk to the people who are willing to help us, but not him. That for him, he did his part by writing for us a letter.
If I found him face to face and asked him questions, do you think he would answer them?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. All right. I don't know, this is a tough question, but a lot of people have been wondering, like, realistically, how much time does Grace have
to stay there?
Like, is there a time where they say that Grace won't be able to stay alive at this point? Like, how long does she have to live?
After transplant, then it's okay. You have a chance of...
But before the transplant?
There is no chance. There is no chance.
No, I ended in Eldoret. Yeah. Then I also love football.
Football, okay.
Yeah, I support Man U.
Man U, okay.
Manchester. It's okay.
It's okay?
We are beating you people next time.
Do you like Chelsea?
Of course, it's my team.
Yeah. She thinks that Man U is going to catch up to Chelsea.
Man U has lost it already.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah? I'm also believing in God that we'll get to the banner.
Good.
Yeah. So let's keep trusting God together. Eh? Thank you.
We stared at the same sun for so many seasons, but I never knew how to get to you.
Well, it's tough to help people. I mean, the way the system's set up is that if you want to help people, you have to raise money, you have to fill out forms, you have to buy this and do this and whatever. I mean, it's tough to help people.
And it's definitely hard at times, like even within the help, there's people that make it easy for you to help them, and there's people that make it difficult for you to help them. And there's always somewhere in the middle where you have to like realize you're helping them not because it's comfortable or easy for you, but because they need help. And so at some point you have to find something within you that makes you want to help people that are hard to help. So what's the doctor's name we're reading?
Misha? Mugisha? Mugisha? Because there's no H, so it's Mugisa.
Mugisa.
We're just wondering if the $20,000 that it costs to do the surgery in India, if that's really her best option. Because we were talking to Dr. Garcia, and he was saying that they could do it in Mexico City, and they have a really good health care system that for $10,000 US dollars.
In Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico.
Okay, anyway, the first thing that we can't do it here. They don't have the facilities to do a renal transplant. And in the past, we thought India would be cheaper because on average their costs for medical services are normally a third or half of what you get in the Western world.
The whole $20,000 thing and not being able to get a lot of details is very shady. And where is this money actually going? The doctor's saying that don't just help one person with $20,000, give the money to the hospital and help a bunch of people. Whether it's $20,000 or $1 million, I mean, we have to try and help her and, save her life. And something about her just makes me want to help her and do something for her.
Hey, Vinny.
Yes?
Spoons. 3 for 1,000.
3 for... Yeah, that's fair. That's fair? That's fair, yeah.
Vinny was a Hutu from Rwanda, and that's where he was born and grew up. And when things started getting kind of bad right before the genocide in '94, his family got out. But extended members of his family were killed in that genocide.
During the genocide, he was fleeing over to Congo and different places, and he eventually wound up in Uganda.
Vinny, I would say Vinny was our first African friend, really. There was friendships with everybody, but he was just on a different level in a lot of regards because we spent so much time with him, and he went everywhere with us.
She like your sister?
Yeah, she's like my sister.
Yeah.
But she's...
Just like we're brothers.
Peace out, dude.
Peace out, homie.
No, where are you going to do?
Hey, peace out.
I'm going with them. Dude.
Okay, we'll catch you on the flip side.
That's too hard.
One night, we were at this big youth rally thing. This guy named Wilson was singing there, and he's a huge gospel artist within Kampala. Everyone knows him. He's a former street kid who now sings to raise money, and we find out that he has an orphanage within Kampala. And Vinny decided that he would take us there.
Praise the Lord.
There are all these young guys who are former street kids that help other street kids.
How many children do you have?
Yeah, they're close to 60 street children and orphans. Some of them, there are some people who are brought to the streets without their knowledge. They were brought very young. Maybe the parents died, we can't tell. So they are thrown to the streets from about 3 to 4 years. So we get them when they're about 12. We ask them how they came to the streets and they can't tell. What they know is that they just found themselves on the streets.
It was pretty overwhelming at first because there's so many kids, and a lot of them were just really malnourished. Some of the kids had AIDS.
Eric.
Yes.
Nice to meet you guys.
That first immediate contact, that was amazing because like these kids immediately latched onto us and we immediately had this connection with them.
How are you? It's Jessica.
Jessica?
Yes. Hi, Jessica.
There's a guy who was 23 years old, 22, 23, 24-year-old people who had grown up on the streets themselves. They have nothing, and yet they're willing to take in 65 kids and live with them in their house. I'll never forget the first time we walked into the compound. All these little kids came running up, and you know, they're kind of timid because we were white visitors and they don't really have that very often, and they kind of scared, but they're coming up and they're touching us and they're talking, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw this little kid just off in the distance, and he was one of the only kids that hadn't run up to us. And when we made eye contact, I could just see like this void, like this emptiness in him, and it really was just like, what was that, you know? Like, what just like hit me?
Julius. He's sick, he has malaria. Malaria fever.
Malaria is not contagious, is it?
No, it's not. You want to say hi to everybody?
That little boy just completely altered like so much for me.
Shane went to go get in the van, and we brought a couple things for him. So I'll take him over there. Julius, we're gonna go over here. Come here. Let me talk to you.
Julius Paul.
Did you ask her which one she would like?
He's called Scooby-Doo. He says Scooby-Doo.
I've seen this place before. Blank faces wanting more or something. Cinematic in a pose. Does everybody know I'm empty inside? When I'm holding on to a life gone wrong, I know that I've gotta let go. It's time to leave the memory of my regret. I know with a beautiful soul I can find a peace that's better than happiness.
Who's showing us where they are?
They fear rain.
No, nobody fears rain.
For us, we don't walk in rain because you can easily get malaria.
You can get what?
Malaria.
Malaria?
Yeah.
In the rain? Why?
I don't know. Am I right? I think in Rwanda, I don't know how it's in Uganda. When you walk in the rain, you can just get malaria. I don't know the cause, but you can easily get malaria.
You cannot get malaria.
You can.
Someone made that up. You
Maybe.
can't get malaria in the rain. You have to get malaria being bitten by a mosquito. It needs to go into your bloodstream.
It's fever. I get fever.
Oh.
It's crazy in there, though.
This one's for Grace.
You get how much do you buy that shirt?
30.
30.
Vinny, it's a present, and feel this.
A present to whom?
For Grace. Feel the shirt. It's actually embroidered.
No,
so
that's what they told you, that you feel the shirt. This one I buy it at 20.
well, he started at 40,
15.
Vinny. He started at 40.
No, it's supposed to be 15. He's so white. This should be 15.
It's all right. It's a present anyway. I don't care.
Everything was about Grace for every day for Adam. That was it. It was Grace. And the other guys really rallied around him. He had this passion. He was like, I have to save this girl's life. And I said, all right, well, then let's write a letter home. Let's start raising money. How much is it going to cost?
Dear friends and family, hello all. An opportunity has arisen for us to save someone's life. This is a young lady dying of kidney failure. Her name is Grace Ateem. She's 23 years old, a student at Makerere University, has captured all of our hearts. There's only one doctor to every 60,000 Ugandans, and although we should count Grace blessed to even have a bed in this horrific place, the reality is Grace needs a minimum of $20,000 US for a kidney transplant in India. Her kidney failure is irreversible without this transplant. Grace will die, and when the average Ugandan makes $1 a day, this kind of medical need is not an option. Grace enjoys school, football, and she hopes to be able to travel the world one day. Love from Uganda, Adam, Dan, Scott, Eric.
Okay. Oh, that's... Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see it. Try to walk. Move around. Yeah, so the pain is a bit reduced.
Realistically, how much time does Grace have before she dies? Like,
how long can she be on this dialysis?
How long can she survive on dialysis?
Almost forever.
Almost forever?
Almost for a lifetime. We talked to a doctor last week, and he was surprised that we were going to be helping Grace out. Because he was saying that the $20,000 that could be going to help her could be easily spent to help more than just one person. So do you believe this is worth the effort?
As in the transplantation.
Do you think that $20,000 is worth saving Grace's life, or do you think that that money would be better used to help out many people around the hospital? Because we had a doctor say to us, why just spend that money on one person when you could help many people throughout the hospital $20,000? So do you think that it's worth it to use the $20,000 for Grace?
It's a tough question. No, it's not there's nothing impossible in this world. You only have to have some imagination.
Yeah.
You see, Jesus came and said he was going to look for one sheep like this.
Yeah.
You remember that parable?
Yeah.
Where that guy looked for one sheep, and when he found it, he carried it on his shoulder, and he asked the rest of the sheep to follow him. He went to celebrate. And then Jesus asked those guys, what do you think? Why did he have to save only one sheep and then celebrate about it? How about the 99? So he came to save one sheep. Yes, it's worth every bit of it. After all, you will bring that $20,000 and you shall squander it and nobody will benefit. Because you know what happens. Yes, I'm not going to talk about the global fund and what you know. So you bring the 20,000 and you give it to us, we shall eat it. We shall squander it and nobody will benefit. Let Grace have a life. Yeah. Because how many people have had a kidney and they are doing us a lot of good, and how many will you help with the 20,000? You need to do more and more 20,000 every time, because you bring it, we suck it up, and we shall never be satisfied. Yeah. Let Grace get 20,000 and get a kidney and walk. She may do us some good, she may do us no good, you know. Who are we to know? So it's not we who judge who dies. Yes. Leave it to God.
Yeah. We completely agree. We just, that was brought up to us, and we just wanted to get another doctor's opinion, and you couldn't have said it better.
The doctor visit was awesome.
And that was good that, it was just good to see Grace sitting up and stuff, and she looked a lot better today. Each time I see her, she looks better.
She was so excited about that jersey.
Joking about the
I can't believe that Giggs was her favorite player. And we just guessed.
Favorite player too.
It was good.
It took basically 5 weeks to finish the studio, and now we get 1 week of recording. One thing that's gonna need to happen is you guys are gonna need to take some serious pride, and I think you do. And here you're gonna need to take a lot of pride in how the equipment is handled. This stuff is pretty expensive. Somebody donated it, but somebody spent quite a bit of money on it to give it to you guys. And if it breaks, you're gonna be out. What they'll be using the studio for mainly, I think, is commercials. They'll be making commercials for the radio. They can whip those out pretty fast. They're really easy to do. So if they are able to do that for commercials. They can pump a couple commercials out a day, make a couple bucks a day, you know, and that would help promote the business. Me and James recorded this one for his crusade just 2 days ago, and it took 15 minutes.
I really never thought I would get this kind of production, but it's been a blessing. My trainer Daniel, he done it in 1 week, but I can do something with it. Thank you, guys.
A few days after we had visited the kids, Julius had become really sick, and we knew we didn't want to take him to Malago, so we found a private hospital where if you have money, you could actually see a doctor.
Yeah.
How long was he sick before we came 4 days ago?
He has been having flu ever since he came.
Rose had called just a little bit ago, and this is the young boy.
Okay. May I get the name? Has ever been here before?
No, he's never been here. That was date of birth. So he's been coughing though and having the flu symptoms since you got him?
Yeah. And he has spread the flu to Jessica and her sister.
So they're all sick in some different way though?
Sometimes. There are times when most of them get sick. Yeah. Now like when their mosquito nets, when the mosquito nets get old, at night mosquitoes begin to bite them.
Is that how most of them get sick, is through mosquito bites?
Yeah, mosquito bites.
Yeah. They're ready for us, buddy. You ready? Come on, big man.
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Oh.
This little guy's not.
Okay.
Last time I saw him was about 4 days ago, and he had a really high fever. And they had put him on malaria medication from a clinic. But that was about 4 days ago.
So let's go to the lab.
Okay.
And we'll run some tests.
Okay.
So you take that much 3 times a day until the whole thing is gone?
3 times a day for 5 days.
For 5 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm tired of my skin. I'm trying to let you in. The pain is a megaphone. The pain is a megaphone. I'm falling down again. I'm fighting with my twin. The pain is a megaphone. The pain is a megaphone. And I can hear you. And I can hear all the things I've done.
Ready to go to Rwanda?
Hey, I am.
Crazy.
We're gonna go hang out with the Hutus and the Tutsis. See where Vinny's gonna be president.
You went to see them today?
Yep, all of them.
UAF 7381.
We take a picture, then we get moving.
We went down there because Vinny invited us to meet his kind of community that he grew up in as a little kid in the northern part of Rwanda. There was also personal interest from everyone else on the team where we wanted to go down and just really see the effects of the '94 genocide that happened there.
One thing you immediately notice about Rwanda is that it's one of the most beautiful countries you've ever seen. Just the rich, lush volcanoes, and everything is so green, and I had no clue that it was such a beautiful country. Our first experience there was being kind of out in the rural areas, in the farmlands. Vinny was saying, well, the reason that no one builds a really sturdy house is because they're afraid that the genocide's going to happen again and that all the houses will get torn down. So they just sort of make these temporary homes. They just live in fear of the genocide happening again. But as you go throughout the city, there's different signs that all we could read was genocide in big red letters. From what Vinny told us, it's saying, don't store up genocide in your heart, basically don't have those feelings of hatred towards one another.
So these areas here, these camps or whatever that you're calling them, these IDP camps, did these people, were they displaced from other places or did they originally live here?
No, some of them originally lived here, and some of them, they had homes somewhere. Now they told them, we don't want you to stay in there in a where you used to stay. You come and stay where the government can see, can watch, can see.
So why have the people stayed here, even though the genocide and the war has been over for 10 years?
That's where the government wants them to be.
So they're not allowed to go back to where they once were?
They are not.
He just said it's because if they fear if they let them go back into the mountain areas, they can form terrorist groups.
There is insecurity.
So there's a constant fear of genocide.
Yeah, sure. There is still insecurity.
Was actual genocide right here on this land? Right here.
Everywhere.
People were being killed. Everywhere you can see.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. But in the major was in the capital city.
And it was just everybody against everybody.
In Uganda.
The tribes. It wasn't just the government.
It wasn't the government. It was internal feeling someone had. If I knew there was someone who is a Hutu, a Tutsi, and I knew if I would meet him, genocide was just killing a person of the opposite tribe. In Uganda, they get more information than we do, because there is information they hold in the country which you can't hear. But outside, these guys, they read information, they get it. Like this film for genocide, I believe most Rwanda have not seen that film, but Ugandans have seen it. Even you guys.
Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah, every Rwandan I've spoken with has not even heard of the movie Hotel Rwanda.
Now imagine those, but in Uganda they have seen it. Many guys have seen it.
And in America, I mean, it was a huge movie.
But
everybody
many guys, they have not seen it, because they believe that if they show guys like that in movie, it will still bring something in their heart or in their heads. So a lot of information is held from guys.
Right.
You go to the Genocide Museum, and it's unlike anything I've ever experienced before.
Here we have 4 mass graves. Downstairs we have 7. In total we have 11 mass graves which are filled up nowadays here, and we are creating 2 more graves for the future burials because the families are still discovering remains of their relatives in different parts of the town. And in these 11 mass graves, each grave is 4 meters deep and may contain about 100 coffins or more than that. And we have more than 256,000 people who are collected here, and we are still in the process. Maybe there will be more than 300,000 or 270, I don't know exactly the number that we will have in this memorial. But nowadays we have about 100. Okay, and then here we have the last mass grave, and it shows how we bury people in all of different mass graves. Each one is filled up with a coffin like this, and the coffins in which we have remains of the victim. And in most of the cases, there were the coffins in which like 5 people, 10 people, even 20 people were buried together with their remains.
It was really hard to be in a place that had been so devastated by genocide. You know, to try to wrestle with this idea of man killing man to such an extreme.
We were driving out to Vinny's village, and we drove by, and there was this little kid walking by, and he had a machete in his hand. And Vinny goes, "You can imagine where that machete's been." Just hearing him say that, it's like, wow, you know, I wonder what that machete's seen, and you know, why this kid has it.
Before we went to Rwanda, Vinny had talked a lot about you know, where he had grown up and just why he was in Uganda because of the genocide and all of that. But to see him in his element, in his hometown, surrounded by his family, it added a new layer to the relationship that we had with him. I think we definitely walked away with a greater appreciation for who Vinny was and his story and his background, and just to see how he's been able to overcome such vivid hatred for just because he's a Hutu, and how he doesn't care that so many of his people were killed in '97, and how his people did killing in '94. Like, all of that tribal hatred didn't matter to him. And to see him with the other Rwandans and still have that spirit of love and that spirit of reconciliation definitely added a new appreciation in my mind. And for all of us, I think we all had a deeper sense to our relationship with him. Bought a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different stuff. We bought 9 mattresses. We bought some tons and tons of food. We bought some bed frames to put the mattresses in. We got a bunch of school stuff, some crowns and paper and pencil, a bunch of blankets, some water basins. Yeah, we got a lot.
Eric here is going to show some dudes how to play some football.
I helped put on a abstinence awareness tournament, and the whole idea was to use soccer as a tool to promote abstinence in the fight against AIDS. As soon as they saw a white guy on the field tossing out brand new soccer balls, everybody kind of swarmed around. It amazes me how you can come together over a sport and just create an instant brotherhood just because of a passion for a game.
came away from US to organize this tournament. He spent all his energy to design, to buy the best trophy, and he has been working hard to see that this can come to happen.
I set out with a goal of really establishing a valid soccer football team here. And I really had this vision of this huge football tournament that we could put on. The tournament went off and it went well. I thought it wasn't the grandeur dream that I had, but it was a very successful tournament, I felt. That was the one goal I had for this point of the trip, was to really work with that soccer program and have that established. And I feel like, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd put it at like an 8 as far as what success we had in that. The idea that people practice abstinence here as a way of survival is so foreign to me. They abstain as a way of survival. And the people who don't, for the most part, are infected with AIDS or HIV.
What happened?
I got an email on the 21st saying that basically she was readmitted to Malaga. She was having really bad stomach pains. On Wednesday, she died.
Did she die at Malago?
I think so.
Can there be anything worse?
I'll email her mom and see if we can figure out some way to pay for the funeral.
It was a pretty strong dose of reality for us in that situation to be like, we can't save the world, you know, we can't save every single person. I think that was kind of a hard pill to swallow.
We're going to Jinja because they're having a memorial / like prayer time for Grace. So we're gonna head up there and talk to her mom and just see what needs they have, and maybe some of the money that we raise for Grace could be used to help with funeral costs and different stuff like that.
It'll be difficult to see her mom, but I think it'll be good to kind of pay our last respects to Grace and to let Grace's mom know that we're still there, supporting her through prayer and just morally supporting her.
Grace became that best friend, that friend that was like Vinny. He was like Vinny dying.
And for me, it was also kind of, I think, another just hard dose of reality in walking to her grave. Like the whole walk there, I was thinking, and the last image I have of Grace in Uganda is sitting in her hospital bed with that big grin on her face.
The day of Grace's funeral, I was really hurting for those guys. But I knew that was why we were here. That's why we had flown to the other side of the world.
Beatrice, why did you decide to bury Grace here? Is this where she grew up? Is this your village where you grew up?
No, our place is very far. I come from northern part of the country.
Yeah, there's definitely the war going on, so you couldn't bring Grace back to that.
One of the things that just blew my mind is the fact that they, as a family, waited to have her funeral service until we got back.
I would say thank you to having reached them down. We are very grateful, and we realized one thing in life. As we are on earth, the important command God gave us is as man to love one another. And it's this love that has given us all to endure through this long difficulty that we have been together. I thank God to have given me the vision that we are able to see that mankind, we are one species. And the command of love has got no boundaries, has got no difference. We become one person. When we are focused to realize who Jesus is, we get one vision. And the focus of that one is loving one another. I'm very grateful, though in difficulty, in problems, in sorrow, we have shared our love together. Thank you very much for that.
She had something that could have been taken care of. She didn't have to die like that.
I played that through my mind. We just had like more time. Because the only thing that killed Grace was time.
Africa wasn't just our classroom. It wasn't just a journey. Africa is like our friend Grace. She's dying of a totally curable condition.
Oh, Scarecrow, it ain't so bad. Just try and fill in this hollow man. 'Cause you've traveled so far from where it all began.
Rest in peace.
Maybe I wasn't made for.
What are you gonna do when all your white friends leave you?
Maybe I wasn't made.
I'm going to be disappointed. I'll not be happy.
All the space in between.
Where are we going? Home.
Maybe I wasn't made.
I know the trick I'm going to use to let them not go.
It took 5 years to finish this documentary because the story changed, and these 4 guys were only the beginning of a whole new adventure. It was really hard to go back home to my life in LA and my apartment and bills and my dreams of winning Sundance with a documentary that I could barely finish because I missed those kids so much. So, about a month later, I got back on a plane and I went back to Nansana, Uganda, and I just moved in. Now we have a farm, so we could work on the nutrition for all the street kids and orphans that we're helping. And we needed clean water. Kids get sick from typhoid and parasites. A friend of ours was able to raise the money for 2 boreholes, which is a pure water, down to an aquifer. And people started coming, people started showing up and coming and working with us. And then it grew. Friends like Julie would come.
So here's our bunkhouse. It has 3 rooms. It'll be 2-bedroom with a common area, then a kitchen. It's sort of like a storehouse. And it's right up against the perimeter of the land in order that it can get the best view of overlooking all the land and kind of just keeping an eye on things.
And we created a taxi business. One taxi cab grew into a fleet of taxis. We've done all kinds of projects, like a radio show in the fight against AIDS.
It's 4 minutes past the hour of 12 and we are going till the hour of 2. Today we do not come to talk only to the girls. Guys are always listening to our program.
We are going to talk about abstinence and how one can do it.
Abstain. Are we abstaining from food? Are we abstaining from our friends? Are we abstaining? What are we abstaining, Flores?
Wow. We will be abstaining from premarital sex.
Wow. We are abstaining from premarital sex.
It's so exciting to hear such questions from Eunice.
Remember the kids, Julius and Jessica? This is where they came from, the slums in Kampala. This is the sewage those kids grew up in. The African slums are fresh with issues and a destitute generation that just needs a chance to get out. So we bought our own house, and we cleaned it and fixed it up. Even Dan came back.
Way to go, baby.
It's amazing what a community of people can do when they come together with all their skills. It's now called Mercy Child Care Ministries. It's a safe place. It's not perfect. Kids sometimes still sleep 2 or 3 to a bed, but it's our own place. It's not the slums anymore. 50, 60, 100 kids live there at any given time.
Yes,
Yes, you. It couldn't be. Then who? Number one stole the mango from a mango tree. Hold me. Yes, you. It couldn't be. Then who? Number two. Number two stole the mango from a mango tree. Who? Me. Yes, you. It couldn't be. Then who? Number nine stole the mango from a mango tree.
Word spread, and more people started coming. Friends of friends. And people come from all over to help us. They come and play with the kids, do a reading program, go swimming, play some sports. They come to Africa and their lives are totally rocked by these kids. They're never the same again. We had started so many projects and we're doing so much work, we had to become legal. And so we created Come Let's Dance. And now we're a registered NGO so we can continue to help more people and grow. Something about how we've learned together, we've walked alongside a long time together. These American kids learn 10 times more than the Ugandans do. And those same kids from the kids' house 5 years ago, they're adults now, and they're now running their own programs. Solomon, he runs the Thread of Life sewing shop, and he works with the women in the slums.
I work with Come Let's Dance as a volunteer at a kids' house. I work as a counselor to the children.
We can make a difference in Africa, anywhere that God will have chosen you to go.
Thank you.
Credits.
Hi, my name is Vincent Mugisha, and I hope to change the Rwandan government. Through the parliament, I want to bring peace between both Tutsis and Hutus. God willing, 2015, I'm hoping to become the president of that nation. I will bring peace between the two.
I used to have them on my phone, but I always carry them in my wallet. He looked so much healthier there than when we first got there. I mean, he was so malnourished. He's just so much healthier looking now.
Phil the other day asked me if I'd ever consider getting my master's, and then he called me a hippie and said I was a granola girl when I said I don't need to go to school to learn how to love people better. But I really think that's love is the answer.
I want to thank you so much, the Basque family. Thank you so much for showing us that heart. Thank you so much for the nice base you've given unto us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you so much. You may never know how you have changed our lives, but I believe God will bless you so much. I'm Pastor Wilfred. Thank you so much.
Hello, I just want to say thank you. I'm called Wilson, and I work together with Wilfred. Allow me to say thank you for bringing a smile on the lips of these kids. Thank you. What you've done has changed somebody's life. To know that somebody out there is loving him or her. Thank you indeed. And I know in heaven your reward is great. Thank you.
He's been my daddy when I had no daddy. He's been my mama when I had no mother. I call him daddy. Yes, yes. I call him daddy, daddy. Yes, yes. He's the father to the fatherless, and the mother to the motherless. He's full of love in season and out of season. I call him daddy. Yes, he is.